All right, guys, welcome back. Ari and Dax here from Next-Gen Nutrition. Before we start, if you could do us a massive favor and just hit that subscribe button at the bottom, give the video a like, and if you've got any questions, just leave us a comment. Today, we are going to be giving you guys a bulking blueprint with the maestro, the bulking buster, Mr. Schwedler.
I reckon you know a fair bit about bulking.
You're perma-bulk for the last 6 years, eh?
Nah, we both do.
So basically, we're going to give you guys a rundown, guys and girls, because obviously if you're trying to go through this phase of building muscle, you're going to have to go into some sort of calorie surplus, meaning eating more food than you're burning. So we're going to give you guys like an overview of what foods to eat, how much to eat roughly. It's going to be dependent on body type, what sort of training you should do, and what supps you can implement to help you guys on your bulking journey.
Excellent. I feel like first off, we should talk about. So that what we're going to talk about is bulking in the healthiest, and most cost-effective way.
Yep.
Because I feel like a lot of people, when they go to say I'm doing a bulk, the first things that they'll go to is eating lots of foods that are high in saturated fats, i.e. like takeaway foods.
Yep.
And in excess.
Yeah, well, what I was going to put up was those, the old photos of like Lee Priest bulk, the Jay Cutler one, like
the genetic freaks.
Yeah,
they can
get away with it. They can put on the body fat and take it off overnight.
Yeah, so
most of us can't.
Yeah, that's important because what you're trying to do is when we're bulking is put on good lean muscle while eating excess calories,
and
right?
not a bunch
of body fat.
Yeah.
Like the minimize the body fat to lean muscle ratio. Yeah,
because it's kind of like if you're eating all this food and all this junk and you put on a bunch of muscle but you put on a bunch of fat, you're shooting yourself in the foot for when you cut, because you're going to have to cut harder. You're going to have to do more cardio. You're going to start burning and eating into muscle tissue. So it's important that you sort of think ahead and think, all right, when I cut, I want to maintain as much of the muscle tissue I can and just burn the fat off. So
that's right.
The way you do it, exactly what you said.
Yeah. So I guess we'll say like probably what foods to eat, and I feel like the most cost-effective way. That's probably the best way to say it. To obviously give you guys an idea.
I think bulking's pretty cheap, eh?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Apart from the meats. Like the carbs are cheap.
Then again. So when you're bulking, you want to eat in a surplus. So eating excess calories and slowly increasing those calories over time. Now, you don't necessarily really know how many calories you should start with and what you're going to probably end up with. So I guess what you firstly want to do, if you really want to track, we're going to talk about tracking it, is download an app like MyFitnessPal and have a good starting point, right? I would say around, just start on about 3,000 to 3,500 calories. That's a starting point.
So
right?
Before that, someone should probably have a look at what they're currently eating, so they get a start point. Like, if they're eating 1,000 and they go to 3,000.
Well, this is what I'm getting to, because a lot of people don't track their foods, and they don't understand how many calories they're actually eating.
Got ya.
If they're going to say, "Oh, I'm eating 5,000 calories," are you really?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is the best way to do it. I even spoke to my good mate Crafter about this yesterday, and he was surprised how much he's under eating. We put in MyFitnessPal, he's blown away. Like 1,800 calories. Thought he was
really.
Yeah. He's like, what the fuck? So, yeah. So if you're in a position where you're eating the same foods every day and you're trying to bulk, jot it down in MyFitnessPal. Right? Bang, 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 bang. Have a look. Like everything you eat the whole day, have a look at the macros and the calories at the top, and then have a look. Now, let's say you're sitting at 2,500, then you're not even really close, right? Everybody's different, but try and get it up to 3,000, 3,500, see how you go. Then slowly increase the calories week by week to the point where you find you're gaining size without gaining excess fat, right? So you might get to 5,000 calories, right? And you're not really putting much weight on with the scale, but you're getting stronger. You can tell by the way you look, or you're getting scans where you're increasing muscle, and sit at that. There's no point jumping to 6,500, 7,000 calories if you're putting on 4 kilos a week and you're starting to put body fat on, right? So that's the easiest way. Now, going on foods, what we want to eat. Obviously, carbohydrates are a big part of bulking. Simple carbs, white or sweet potato, oatmeal. They're cheap. They're cheap. Rice,
Pasta.
cereal. If you want, try and get the less like sugary cereal. Fruits, bananas, and stuff like that. And if you can tolerate it, a good probably like a milk as well. You put in like your shakes, or you can eat with your cereal. So they're foods. There's a carbohydrate source. Now a protein source, if you want to try and keep it as cost effective as possible, chicken breast, lean beef mince, probably 3-star. If you go 5-star, it starts getting expensive. It's obviously just less fat. You can get away with 3-star.
Chicken thigh? Could you get away with that?
Yeah, you could get away with chicken thigh. Chicken thigh is just higher in fats.
Yeah.
Tuna, steaks if you can afford it. It does get costly. Turkey's really good. So there's multiple things that you can do. Now fats are essential as well, right? But this is where you need to probably be choosing the right fats. Now, what fats should you be eating? Good fats that are like polyunsaturated, but not high in like the saturated part of the fat. Yeah. So things like the good fats, I would say like almonds, avocado.
Well, it's like a lot of, you could group a lot of the nuts in there. Brazil nuts, cashew nuts. But with the fats, it can blow the calories out quite a bit.
Yeah, so obviously
it's important that you guys are tracking, which Dax just said previously.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, everybody's different. This is just a good rundown, an example of what you should try and eat. So try and get the fats in as well as the foods. Now, for an example, like the easiest way to start the day if you're in a bulk is having a big smoothie. If you're in a rush, like 150 grams of oats or 200 grams of oats, a big banana. You can use protein powder. If not, you can get egg whites, which is a really good source of protein. Blueberries and full cream milk or almond milk, depending how much calories you're trying to get out of your way. Right, bang, blend it up, drink it, out the door. Then from there, a lot of people when they bulk, they're not getting enough food in. I always say go buy those little plastic takeaway containers and take 3 to work, right? One side, make it a protein source, 200 grams of chicken, lean beef, turkey, like we're saying. And the other side, make it a carbohydrate base, rice, pasta, potato, and have 3 of them throughout the day. If you're doing that, you're going to be sitting up around, 2,000, at least 2,500, nearly 3,000 calories before you even get to the end of the day. Then you have dinner, and then you can have snack before you go to bed. So dinner as well, that's where I like to have steak or beef mince or turkey mince. I always have white potato at night. I prefer that over sweet potato.
We might have to chuck that recipe up of that beef mince dish that you
This bloke has not stopped giving me about this dish I made for Jamie once. Just met her, cooked dinner. It looked horrible, but it was good for me. He'd given it to me for weeks.
I just love it how she was like, no, this is exactly what I feel like.
Yeah. Now she would say it looks like shit, eh?
Beef mince was that dry. I think she's still chewing it.
Yeah.
So basically, like, what you're saying is someone should find out their starting point of what they're eating currently.
That's the first thing you need to do.
Yeah.
Because how do you ever know how much
Which
you have
way
to
to go?
eat? Yep.
And then from there, increase the calories by 500 to start with?
Yep.
Okay, increase by 500. And then from there, each week you sort of monitor your body shape. So I guess you want to be taking photos each week to have a look at if you're putting on body fat or muscle or what it might be.
Yep.
Take photos each week and then adjust the calories accordingly. So
let's just say you're 2 weeks into the bulk and you haven't put weight on, right? Scales aren't going up. You're not really noticing much. And you're on 3,000 calories. First thing you do, let's bump it up by 500 calories. Easy thing to do. Go through your macros. Do you need more meat? Do you need more potato? Do you need more fats? I generally say add more carbs in, right? So have another 100 grams of potato or pasta per meal. Such an easy thing to do, right? That's going to bump it up to 3,500 calories. Next week, see how you go. If it's starting to increase, you're onto the ball. Hey?
Yeah, got ya.
It's so easy to do. So easy to do, but it's what I just said is such a basic but effective way, and it's not complicated to be able to try and bulk and increase.
I think we get like where the confusion comes in. It's more in the younger guys that come in and the younger girls even. In the point that, you know, a lot of them are sort of just 18, 19, super fast metabolisms. They're tradies. They only get one break.
Yep.
I guess the only real way to do it is maybe get up early, have that smoothie, have your second sort of snack or something on the way down to work if you're in Sydney or Newcastle, whatever it might be. If you have a bit of time, then have your lunch, obviously a big meal. Then after work, when you're driving home, have that other meal. Usually they'll probably train in the afternoon, so get your session in the afternoon, big dinner, pre-bed meal, and then you've knocked off 5-6 meals.
So that's the thing. Like, and a lot of tradies and the young tradies, like doing an apprenticeship. That's like, I'm sort of directing this a little bit at you as well, because you obviously aren't on good money. You haven't got enough, but this is a simple way of doing it. And a lot of them, they're trying to bulk. They come in, and their first meal is at Smoko, 10 o'clock. Realistically, your first meal should be around 6 o'clock. But I get it. They just out of school, they've woken up. They're like, oh, fuck, I'm in the biggest hurry. Let's get to work, right? You know what I mean? But you need to eat that first meal early.
It's important, yeah.
It's important. When I was doing my apprenticeship, when I was landscaping, we weren't allowed to obviously just pull up and eat. There was times where I was getting ready for shows, and as gross as this sounds, it's legit true. I used to go into the Portaloo and eat rice and tuna. Now, can you imagine a hot day? Like, just you walk in there, I'll go to the toilet, and I'd like take my container and bang. As bad as that smells, just to get that meal in, because you know what I mean. I'm trying to put on size. I'm trying to maintain the calories up. But that's the thing too. Like, what's an easier way of doing it? Having a protein powder, like a carb,
a mass gainer or something like
mass
that.
gainer. That's another thing we can talk about. Where a lot of people, we sell supplements. That's our job, right? But if people are coming in and a lot of us say to us, how many times should I have a mass gainer a day? 5, 6? You're like, no fucking way, right? 2 to 3 max, I like to say.
Yeah.
And you supplement that mass gainer with good food. Right? The food comes first. If you're chucking in mass gainers in between these meals, that's where you're going to get more calories. So it's such an easy thing to do. If you've only got time for lunch, breakfast, lunch, dinner, what are you doing between there?
Because sometimes, especially when you start to eat these, if you're trying to hit 5,000 calories, it gets really hard to keep eating and eating and eating all this food.
That's right.
With a shake, it's so easy. You just crack the shake, you drink it. It's nice and easy.
Yeah. And as basic as this sounds, but it is like a mass gainer. It's like if you're having 2 scoops or the serving size of that mass gainer, it's basically like having steak and rice.
Yeah.
But in chocolate or vanilla or whatever flavor you're having, and takes 2 minutes to drink. Not even that. Bang down. Excess calories, you get on with work. That's when mass gainers are very, very handy.
I think it's important, if we're going to touch on the mass gainers as well, to look at the ingredients as well.
Yep.
And the serving size and the amount of calories, because they'll vary. Some might have calories like 400 per serve. Some might have 1,200, 1,600, I think is the most I've ever seen in a mass gainer. But it's full of junk. You want to make sure the mass gainer you pick is a clean mass gainer. It's not going to bloat you or make you feel sick for the rest of the day, because your main goal is getting that food in so you can grow. So I reckon for anyone, like that 400 to 500 mark is perfect. The 1,600, I just think they're too much.
Yeah.
You'd just be bloated for the whole day.
Well, that's what happens.
You get about 10 servings in them. Like,
that's what happens, right? These especially these young guys, they'll have a mass gainer, and then what happens? They don't feel like they need to eat for 3 to 4 hours later because they're full.
Yeah.
And then what's happening? You're under eating.
Yeah.
Yeah. You slide a mass gainer, it's at 500-600 calories. An hour and a half later, you're right to eat.
Yeah.
So that's exactly right.
Yeah. Perfect. Now, training.
One other thing I think is really important, and it's probably important for everybody that's trying to gain muscle, is having a meal before training that's high in carbohydrates.
How long before?
I would say at least an hour and a half. I feel like if you're having one within less than an hour, and then you're trying to get a pre-workout in, you're at the gym and you're just like,
all the blood's in your stomach. Now, it's not going to your
muscles. Let's try and get a quick carbohydrate base in before you training. That's where you'll see a lot of people these days. Why the fuck is everyone eating sugary Cocoa Pop cereal before they train? Well, the reason why, it's quick, right? I have athletes getting ready for shows having Cocoa Pops before they train. Like, years ago, people would look at that and go, what the fuck? But the thing is, it's so quick, and they train hard. They use those carbs up within the first half an hour, 40 minutes of the workout.
It's cheap, it's convenient, digests easy.
And it doesn't bloat you.
It doesn't bloat. So, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Training-wise, Dax, what do you reckon weights wise people should be doing? Should they, like our previous podcast last week, should they be doing more strength-based stuff? Should they be doing hypertrophy? Should they be doing a mix of both? Or what do you reckon as a general blueprint? I know it's hard because it's
look, that's the thing. Like time under tension and obviously increasing weight over a period of time is going to build muscle. But is there one way to build muscle? There's not, right? It comes down to whatever training you like, what feels good for you. I've seen people that are bulking, keeping the reps between 6 to 8 in a set and gaining great size, right? I've even seen people build good muscle between 4 and 6. I don't think that's enough reps, right? But if they're increasing the weight over the time, over your 2, 3, 4 weeks, they're going to gain muscle, right? Then again, have I seen people gain muscle doing higher reps, 10, 15, even 20? Now, why would that also work with a good mass gaining diet? Is because can you imagine the pumps you are getting, right? If you're getting to the end of the day and you've had 500-600 grams of carbohydrates and you're training, you're pumping out 20 reps, you get most ridiculous pumps, right? As long as you're digesting well. And what happened, increasing muscle size by more blood volume, increasing the weight over a period of time and time under tension.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
I think
progressive overload is a great way to build muscle, but obviously I think volume training is just as good.
I think if you're bulking, you'll have all this extra energy from the food that you're eating. You should be focusing on those lifts that build muscle.
Yep.
Like, put the machines to the back end of your workout. Save the machines so when you're in a cut and you can't really be bothered and your body might be a bit more compromised. Do things like barbell bent over rows, dumbbell rows, bench press, dumbbell press, deadlifts, squats, like all those big compound movements are going to add slabs of muscle.
Yep.
Save the machines and the plate loaded stuff for the end of your workout. Use that energy for those big movements that have been, you ask any of the top guys, that's how they build their muscle.
What I remember saying plates. This. Remember when we had Doug Miller in here?
Yep.
In Natty, and he's got mad size.
Mad.
And I asked him, that bloke does like 20 to 25 reps. And I remember, I don't know why I said it to him. Well, I used to watch him and I literally said it to him, he was standing behind the counter. I said, but with your training, why are you doing 20 to 25 reps? Why don't you go lighter? And he goes, why would I go lighter for 25 reps if I can do it while I'm lifting heavy? And I just went, fuck, fair enough.
Yeah.
I said,
all
right.
What do you say back to that?
I just went, okay. And I'm like, well, true. If he's getting 25, he goes, I won't go over 20, 25 reps. But if I can do that at 80%, I'm like, well, fuck.
Yeah, makes sense.
I'm like, what do you mean then? And he goes, and you look at that bloke, he's got thick, dense muscle.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fucking fair enough.
Yeah.
Does it work for me? Absolutely not. But I still like to keep the reps high.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's no one way to train. You find out what works best for you. Like I said,
just make sure you're pushing yourself.
Doug Miller, fuck, have a look at him. Got good size.
Cardio DAX. Cardio, people, a lot of people think it's a time they can back off the cardio. Should they? What are the benefits of doing it?
I feel like everybody should be doing some form of cardio. If you're, remember back in the day, like when we say, we're bulking. You go, fuck, I'm going to try and park as close as I can to the entry to the shop because I don't want to burn calories. Like thinking that you're burning muscle, you're right? So I feel like doing cardio is healthy, right? Well, it is. It's healthy. It's going to keep your blood flowing, blood circulating. Now let's think about that when you're eating all these calories. It's going to keep the nutrients and the calories and your blood flowing, right? To help with repair, build muscle. Obviously very good for your heart. And it's going to obviously help try and keep your fat down. Your body's
it's going to help
body
your
fat.
metabolism too, so you
Absolutely.
can start to eat more as well.
Now, what form of cardio? No, if you're bulking, I don't feel like running long distance is a great thing to do.
More list style.
Yeah. Do some stair machine once again. Go for a walk. I like to walk. Lately, I said I've just been doing treadmill, but if you can go for an hour walk in the morning, perfect. Or you can do that an after weights workout, sweet. Just don't do running.
Yeah.
Just
no high intensity stuff. If your goal is bulking, you should just be doing a little bit of half an hour walk each day or whatever, just to keep the blood moving, keep your heart good, and boost your metabolism. Get all the health benefits. You want to stay healthy. This is our main goal. to help teach you guys how to be healthy.
Yeah, and that, like I said, this is for people bulking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then moving on to some supplements, just some basic ones, because there's heaps out there, and a lot of people get confused. A lot of the time, we get a lot of younger guys who'll come in and their first port of call will be supplements instead of. Then we ask them, what are you eating? How are you training? And they're like, oh, I'm not really eating that much. I get one break. And we will say it every time, get your diet right first, get your diet right first. So supplement-wise, let's say someone has their diet nailed, they've got their training nailed, they want some supplements going to help increase muscle size, muscle strength, power output. What's a basic bulking stack for someone that could be male and female friendly?
Yep. Firstly, I would include a mass gainer.
Yep.
I'll also include creatine monohydrate.
Yep.
I always like to put glutamine with creatine.
Yep.
Now, mass gainer to help with excess calories, creatine to help with muscle endurance, size, strength. Glutamine's great for muscle recovery, protein synthesis. It's also very good for digestion as well. So
and your immune system.
And your immune system. So if you're digesting a lot of food, it's going to keep your gut nice and healthy. And okay, for female as well. And then I would maybe, we spoke about Laxo Pure.
Laxo, man.
And Laxo Pure, I feel now would be great to chuck in there. It's safe for male and female. Doesn't play around with has no impact on hormones. Increases size, strength. We're like you said, we've been using it ourselves, and I can 100% say I've noticed the difference. Right.
The good thing about Laxo is you can use it off season and coming up to a show.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't. It won't give you that sort of shitty, watery sort of look.
It makes you look a bit leaner. Yeah.
And like it's safe for females. Like for a guy, you could use that and a test booster, or a test booster will be increasing natural testosterone levels. Now, when should you use a natural testosterone booster? I would probably preferably say over the age of like 20, 22, 23, you reckon? Like that. If you're like 15, 16, don't waste your time. You've got enough. And then from that's what I would suggest. And from there, you could use a pre-workout if you need it, right? Do I use a pre-workout? 100% every day I love using a pre-workout. I can get to the gym, I train harder, get good pumps. That's the thing.
I think, the thing with the supps is you can go as far as sort of you want to go. I mean, for us, each day, we're using a greens powder. We're using multivitamins.
Well, that's one of the questions. That's one of the questions in here.
Is
so
it?
We'll answer
okay.
that. Yeah.
So, it's, I think, everything that Dax just said, the only other thing I would chuck in would be something for digestion and gut health, which would be a greens powder, and then probably something for sleep, because sleep and recovery is number one, especially when you're bulking or cutting. So something like your restores, your adrenals, something like that. I think that would be a nice basic sub stack, like a mass gainer, creatine, glutamine, Laxo or a test booster, a greens, and something for sleep. And then if you wanted it, I need it every day, you need it every day, a pump and a pre-workout. Take it from there. If you need more calories, you can chuck in things like carb powders. But that's where it's important to ask us. We'll be able to tailor a sup stack for you. Any of the staff in our stores, they're all trained. Everything they learn comes straight from us. So don't be afraid to reach out. If you don't have a local store, drop a comment below. Inbox us on social media. We'll get back to you and help you out.
So like all in all, mass gaining and putting on size, it doesn't come easy, but don't make it complicated.
Yeah.
Track it, like I said, MyFitnessPal, jot your foods down, and then you can see where you're going. I'm not about people getting so obsessed with tracking food to the point where they're out at dinner and they're tracking the steak that they're getting, shit like that. Each to their own. But if you're serious about this and putting on size, it's the best way to know where you're at.
You want to have a ballpark.
Get scans.
Yeah.
We've got a scan machine here as well. It shows where you're going. If you get 6 weeks down the track and you've got a scan of the first week and nothing's happening, go back and say, what am I doing wrong? Do I need more fats? That's the beauty of gaining muscle and bodybuilding. It's like you're never going to nail it first fucking go. It's just playing around, and that's the beauty of learning as you go on.
Yeah, beautiful. That's good. Hopefully you guys got something out of that. And like always, any questions, let us know. We've got a few questions. All right, Dax. Question number one.
Has Magic got a carb powder in the pipe work?
There is definitely a carb powder in the pipe work or pipeline, but we've got some other things we want to release before then.
8 packs genetic. Now, everybody has an 8-pack, right? Everybody can get to that point. Now, it's easier for people to be able to hold a 6 to 8 pack, definitely, and that is genetics. But if you work hard enough and you get yourself to that point, low body fat, yeah, you can get an 8 pack. But once again, also too, everybody has their abs sitting differently and symmetrically as well. So I will never have an 8 pack. I'll put my hand out right now. But I could get there. Okay. Thoughts on fillers? Are they just there to make numbers up like wingers in footy? Now, this bloke is a guy that I'm good mates with, and fillers, he means vegetables, salads, etc. in his foods. This bloke,
I thought he meant in supps.
No, so he will not eat meals that contain salads and veggies. Now, what's the reason why we add veggies simply to our meals?
Health,
fiber,
all the micronutrients.
All the micronutrients, keep your body healthy.
Yeah.
They aren't a filler. They will help fill you up. Brownie, for God's sake, start eating your veggies. You do my fucking head in. Do you take any adaptogens post-workout? Example, Relora. I don't directly take adaptogens post-workout, but I do within an hour and a half after in a product called Hard. It has ashwagandha. And then I'll also have a scoop or 2 scoops of mushies throughout the day, which has cordyceps, which is obviously another adaptogen. And I know probably why you asked that. Having adaptogens post-training can lead to lowering stress and cortisol in your body and keep you nice and relaxed, allowing your body to recover quicker.
Yeah, cool. I'd be the same, exact same.
Yeah. The importance of veggies for Brownie, that's his mate, just asked the questions, and seriously maybe discuss on creatine.
Okay, well, we did a whole video on creatine, so scoot back and watch that whole video that we did. And yeah, we answered the Brownie question.
What supplements do you both use? I'm just going to throw it out.
It would be the same, so.
Okay, this is what I use every day. Magic Mornings. I use greens. I use Laxo Pure. I use a whey protein. Did I say pre-workout? I use Restore, Hard, Pump Formula, Aminos. Did I say glutamine?
I don't think so.
Glutamine. I take a liver and kidney product.
Are you taking the heart one?
Nah, don't take a heart. That's all right. My heart's good.
Yeah.
And I take Magic Mushies.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's actually what I take every day.
Yeah. That'd be about the same as me. I can't think of anything different.
What nationality are you guys? Ira's like one of those dogs you get from the pet. The pound has got like an Ibiza of everything in it.
What are you talking about? It's 2, the same as you, your dog.
I'm half German, half Australian, with a Greek name. Makes no sense, but that's
my dad is from Iran and my mum was born in England, which is where I was born. Next question.
So so you're
Pringlish.
Yeah, so you're not really Australian.
Persian English.
Not really.
Well, I'm a citizen, but
no, well, obviously. No. Okay, there you go.
I am on paper.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pommy.
That was the last question.
Oh, okay. I thought there was more.
Nah.
Okay, fantastic.
Well, at least we got that in. Oh, there was another one. Someone asked, who does your eyebrows?
Lisa from Brow Envy.
There you go.
All right. Well, thank you again, guys, for tuning in. If you can, just hit that subscribe button for us. It would mean the world. Like the video. If you've got a comment, drop it below. If you liked it, let us know so we know what sort of videos you guys are enjoying. And won't see you next week, but see you guys soon. The week after. Thank you, Dax.